Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is brought to you by the Friends in Recovery community, a thriving network of individuals who are fighting back against the stigma of addiction. Join our hosts as they speak up about the real issues of addiction, treatment, and recovery. Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, here are your Friends in Recovery.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Friends in Recovery podcast. I'm your host, Jersey Ed, along with my very lovely co-host, blah, 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 Beth. We have to give you a new name, Beth.
We just did think of a new name.
What did we think of?
Blah, 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 Beth.
Yeah, but that's not, that's kind of like, what about, I don't know, Beautiful Beth? Should we do that?
Dude, I'm 50. Beautiful was like 30 years ago.
No, not true. Not true. I have to be nice to you today because you're the only one here. And if you storm off, you're like, okay.
You're really talking to yourself.
Exactly. Hey, Beth, how was your week this week?
It was okay.
Was it a recovering week?
Yeah.
Did you do recovery stuff this week?
Yes, I did.
Oh, that's good because we know you missed the show last week with your sponsor. Is everything okay there? And you guys have a great day?
Yeah, so she's okay.
Good.
She's hopeful. And convoluted and difficult because there are three of us that are her like kind of sponsees, sisterhood, and then her daughter. And that whole thing is a little bit messy, and I'm having some feelings about it. So, yeah.
What's her name again?
Cass.
Cass, that's right. I was trying to think of it last week. So
yeah, her name is Cass, and we love her to pieces, and
that's right.
We're very grateful that she's still in our lives.
She wouldn't be Cass from the Mamas and Papas Cass, would she?
No.
Okay.
That would be cool, though.
Yeah, right. I figured I'd try. So, anyways, so we missed you last week. I'm glad you had your thing and you did your thing and whatever the thing was. So we're appreciative that you're back. Bambi is not here this week. It's always something with somebody, right? It's like something goes on.
Life
on life's terms.
Bambi's always here, so Bambi taking a break is well deserved. Her pup isn't feeling well, and she's got to sit upright with him, and she didn't sleep at all last night. So,
no.
Bambi, if you're listening to this, we love you. We miss you. We suck without you.
That's right. No, that's not right, is it?
That's totally right.
Well, today, guys, we're going to talk about live easy, but think first. And if anybody knows what that means, let us know. I didn't even know what it meant. But Beth told us what it meant. It's an AA slogan, right? Or part of 5 AA slogans.
Yep. It's the hidden slogan.
That's right.
About when I was like 90 days sober from old timers.
90 days. I couldn't even write my name 90 days sober, let alone think of a hidden fucking,
I didn't say I thought of it. I said I was told.
It took me like 10 years to figure out why the fucking think sign was upside down. I just thought everybody was idiots and they put it upside down.
I still don't know why it's upside down.
Because it makes you think about it. Like, why is it upside down? That's basically why. You know what I mean?
I was today years old when I learned that. So
today years old. There you go. You learn something new every day. So Bambi's not with us. Shout out to Carl over at SoberPod. I was out running this morning. I ran 15 miles this morning before the show, and I did not. Oh, there it is. I should have mine somewhere too. Well, it's over there somewhere, but I listened to Carl's show today, and it was okay because he's like he said something about friends in recovery. Oh, not that friends in recovery, my friends in recovery. And that was it. Out of a 45-minute show, we got not that friends in recovery. Thanks, Carl. So not that fucking sober pod. All right. No, we love you, Carl. And listen to this.
Are you tired of being called crazy? Have people written you off long ago, but you're still trying to live sober and giving it your best shot? Good news. SoberPod is here to help. The 366 effing days sober daily meditation reader is the book for you. It's not just another self-help book. It was written by a humorous human, if I do say so myself, with a lifetime of experience with addiction and alcoholism who found a way to get and remain sober. In this book, you'll discover feeling good and doing good can go hand in hand. So if you want to make progress, not perfection, grab your copy of 366 effing days sober today and start your own journey. Stay active, stay sober, buy the book, visit soberpod.com.
All right, guys, welcome back. It's a new commercial. Did you hear that yet? You didn't hear the new commercial?
No, I did not.
So it's not about shitting your pants anymore. Carl, who is the author of the book and our podcast guru over in California, does his own commercial now. So things must be getting really tight over at SoberPod. Send a donation over that way, guys. They need some money to keep it going. And Carl has to do his own commercials here. So anyways, so today, Beth, we are going to talk about AA slogans, and maybe for a couple other weeks, the original AA slogans. So do you want to read the 5? It's 5 of them, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them.
Yeah. So you've got live and let live, easy does it, but for the grace of God, the think, and first things first.
Yeah. So that's how we got what?
So it's the first word from each of the sayings. It's live easy, but think first. And if you go to like old school meetings where they still put the slogans up, 8 out of 10 times they'll always be in the same order, because that's the secret slogan: live easy, but think first. So
I like, what about think but easy, live first?
And that's what a newcomer would come up with.
Think about butts, right?
Think about butts. There you go. That's also what a newcomer would think of.
Well, I didn't say I was perfect. Progress, not perfection. There you go.
Oh my God.
Should we just talk in slogans this whole show?
Easy doesn't. All right. Easy doesn't.
Think. Anyway, so you were saying that live and let live, easy does it, but for the grace of God, think, and first things first was the original slogans.
Yep. Those are the original 12-step slogans.
Okay.
And if you I think they come in a starter pack. Like if you start a meeting and you go to World Service, I think they do. I think you get like a paper copy to put in frames.
Really?
I don't know. I've never started a meeting. I'm too lazy for that shit. But yeah, so it's the old school, right? And they're in that like really fancy lettering, like at the beginning of meetings. And
I know what you're talking about.
I was like 90 days sober, and somebody told me to set up for the meeting, and I was like, okay. And this old timer came up to me. He says, "You put the signs in the wrong order," and I'm like, "I didn't know there was an order," and that's when I learned that there is an order to things. Yeah.
All right. That is crazy. That I did not know.
Yeah. There's a big difference between an elder statesman and a bleeding deacon.
Yeah, well, listen, if somebody handed me... So first of all, we at Friends in Recovery would never get signs because we're like the stepchild, the redheaded stepchild of fucking AA. So they open up the basement door and throw fucking little kibbles down to us when they can. So
that's where all the cool people hang out anyway.
Of course it is, because all the cool people hang out at Friends in Recovery. So are we Facebook Live? Are we good? I see us frozen for some reason on Facebook Live.
We're live. I'm
not even looking at that because it distracts me. Like it all distracts me. So anybody on YouTube, if you want to leave a comment, I'm not going to see it. Because first of all, there's nobody on YouTube anyway. So, but
give it some time. Give it some time.
But Facebook, Beth is going to take care of you guys. So if you want to talk about our slogans, if you want to know anything about, first of all, we should give our information out before we get into that because we jumped right into it. But if you want to give us a call, 800-989-6504, that'll be up here. Our email address is friendsinrecoverycommunity.org. And Beth and my email address is below. If not, you can go through the show notes. We're in there also. And then don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that what button? The notification bell. Subscribe. That's right.
And then
subscribe.
the notification bell.
That's right. Do all that. Smash something. Go smash it. No, don't smash a window. That would be really bad because then you have to pay for it. So.
Or just live with a broken window.
Yeah, or live with a broken window, or send the bill to us because I told you not to smash a window. So
there you go.
So do not smash windows. So that's that. So that's how you get a hold of us. But live and let live. Let's go through each one of these because I guess for me, and then we'll go over with the live easy but think first. I guess they can mean a little different things to each one of us, right?
Sure,
I'm
probably.
thinking, right? So let's find that out. Let's go through each one of these and see what each one of these means. So live and let live. So first of all, Beth, when did this starter pack of AA, what you call it?
I think in the 40s.
Okay. So they came out in the 40s, basically.
I think so. Honestly, I don't know the history of the original slogans, but it's like, so the big book itself was a starter pack for AA in your area.
I remember you saying that. They would mail you out a book, right?
Yeah. So they would mail you a book, and it has instructions in the first 164 pages about how you're supposed to get and stay sober. Even in working with others is all about 12-step. It's all about doing a 12-step, doing 12-step call and how to work with people that are still drinking or how to work with people that just stopped. And, so then when they started meetings, I guess they just started sending, because if you started a meeting, you would get pamphlets. I think you get pamphlets now, and you get the preamble and like all that stuff they send to you.
Well, funny, when we started a meeting, we got yelled at. That's all we got.
Yeah, that checks out.
Anyway, so let me ask you this: is any of these slogans in the big book anywhere?
I know "Live and Let Live" is.
Okay.
And actually, 3 of them are at the end of one of the chapters. I'll look. Why don't you tell me what you think "Live and Let Live" means?
Well, I mean, to me, it means just that: live and let live, right? So I have to live my life the way it was designed, or the way it's being designed, or the way it was put together. And let live, I guess, I don't know. To me, that means keep my nose out of everybody else's business. Let them live the way they want to live, and let me live the way I live. And stop the controlling, stop the nonsense, stop the craziness, right? Let everybody be who they want to be. And I think the world needs that now more than ever, but we don't. Maybe the world should listen to "Live and Let Live," right? Let everybody be what they want to be. That's what it means to me. Don't let me stick my fingers where they don't belong, basically. Yeah. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
That's what it means to me. That's what it means to me.
Yeah, I think it's just in practical application becomes difficult when people start doing shit you don't agree with.
Yeah.
People start to, and I think there's a fine line between live and let people live and condoning sick behavior.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, let people do their thing, but like you said, we have to keep it within, ground rules and laws and moral compasses and all that stuff, right? I mean, I guess, live and let live is. It could be a Beatles song or a Paul McCartney song. Live and let die, right? Is that
live and let die? Yeah. So, but it becomes more personal when you start to look at things you don't agree with in your society, in your culture, in your community, that you think are really wrong. Like if you think that gun ownership is wrong, or you think that gay marriage is wrong, it's really a call to action. And what do you have to do to live free and let others people live too, right? Yeah. So, and I picked 2 different, things to talk about there, like that are on different sides of the political scale for a reason, because it doesn't matter if you're left or you're right, if you're Republican or Democrat or independent, just because you don't agree with it or you don't like it or you think it's bad doesn't mean
it's right or wrong.
It's right or wrong, right?
Yeah.
And I think that that's, I think that that's something that a lot of people forget is that, does this affect me? How does it affect me? Right. So, take gun ownership or gay marriage, right? Whichever side you disagree with, or, something that you disagree with, and ask yourself, how does this affect me?
Yeah.
If it affects you, then that's a good reason to go and do inventory on it. It's a good reason for you to start to look at, why are you letting what other people do affect your freedom?
Exactly.
So yeah, I think
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think it's really important for us to challenge our beliefs, to challenge our old ideas, to challenge what we were raised with, what we got married into, what we think we believe. Challenge every old idea that you have and see if you even still believe it.
That's true. Yeah. Like everything changes, right? I was listening to a podcast today. I listened to this 3 of 7 podcast that you would not agree with at all. So don't even go look for it. But I just put it up for the other side. But the gun ownership side, but they were talking about everything changes, right? Nothing doesn't change. And as I was running this morning and listened to the podcast, I'm like, you know what? There has to be things that don't change, right? There has to be, and there's not. So as I'm running down, and I stopped to take not a picture, but a look at this beautiful view, because I enjoy the views where I run, and I take advantage of it when I can, just to take a break, 2 seconds or whatever. And I'm looking at this tree to the right of me. I'm like, that tree didn't change. Well, I'm thinking to myself, a year ago, when I was running through here, that fucking tree grew, right?
Yep.
This fence post I'm standing next to got a little bit darker because it changed, right? Because of the weather, because it weathered. Everything does change, right? The tides.
The only thing consistent in life is change.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. And, so that's it. But do you think, I'm going to say no, but do you think Live and Let Live was a political statement in AA, or do you think it was just Live and Let Live, whatever?
I think it's all encompassing. I don't think it's just I don't think it's just political. I think it's also like spiritual and religious.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You can be Catholic and I can be Jewish and they can be Buddhist and they can be Islamic, and we can all be, right? As long as you're being able to live free, then we need to let others live free.
Yeah.
It's racial, it's social, it's sexual, it's vocational, it's, you know what I mean?
Like the food we eat, everything, right? It comes down to everything.
Yes.
I think people have this idea that it's their way or the highway, right? And that's it. Yes. Even let's even go out of the realm. Look at just everyday people that maybe we might come across. Like, no, this is the way we do it. This is the way we've been doing it for years, and it's not going to change. Well, okay. Well,
if that's working for you, then knock yourself out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Even in AA, the way people celebrate. So up north here in New Jersey, we celebrate the last whatever meeting of the month. And in California, they take birthday cakes, and down south they celebrate the day of, and the way that meetings are run, and the way that groups are formed, and what they consider to be fellowship changes, and it's anytime you go somewhere else in the country, your first thought is, I cannot stand these meetings. They're not doing it right.
I know. You're right. And it's California meetings are way different than ours. I don't know if you ever been to one.
Yep.
It's like the first time I went, I'm like, this is not the AA I'm used to, but it's the AA that they're used to, not me, and I know this is going to, and you probably remember this, but I don't know if they do it up north anymore. Do they do the 50-50 raffles anymore in AA up there?
I have not seen them in a number of years.
Okay.
I bet you any amount of money they're still around somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah, exactly.
Somebody's still doing them.
Yeah. That was like every meeting I went to when it went early recovery. Everybody, everybody threw $1 in, and half went to the
meeting, and
other
half
half
went to
went
somebody
to
else.
Yeah, and then if you didn't give it back to the meeting, everybody's yelling, "Give it back! Give it back!" Thank God I never won, because I would never fucking gave it
I
back. I'll
wouldn't
be
have given it
honest with
back.
you.
I would have been like, "Fuck you."
I know. Live and let live, everybody.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, that's, we can actually do a whole show on live and let live if you think about
100%.
it. So,
100%. And I think a lot of these dig in. So to answer your first question about are these in the big book, live and let live is in here twice.
oh, okay.
And then at the end of the family afterward, there are 3 of them. First things first, live and let live, and easy does it are in here.
Okay.
So obviously, but for the grace of God, there go I is in the book. So we know that one's in there.
Okay. Think. I'm sure think is in there somewhere, but in some context.
Think, honestly, like I've thought about this a lot. Like, because obviously I told you, like, I don't understand the whole thing.
Yeah.
If we go into action, I think, and we look at step 10, it says something about God gave us brains to use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that because it talks about, and I'll try to find it at some point during the show, but it's like when our thoughts are placed on a higher plane, right? God gave us brains to use, and we get our brains back after the 11th step. I think that's where we get them back. Let me search it, but it's like, I think maybe that's where it comes from.
I don't know. I mean, what think you're talking about?
Yeah. Brains to use.
I don't know. I mean, it's just, well, first of all, like, go ahead.
Here it is. On awakening, this is the second part of the 11th step inventory that we're supposed to do. And this is the morning portion. On awakening, let us think of the 24 hours ahead. We consider our plans for the day. Before we begin, we ask God to direct our thinking, especially asking that it be divorced from self-pity, dishonest, and self-seeking motives. Under these conditions, we can employ our mental faculties with assurance. For after all, God gave us brains to use. Our thought life will be placed on a much higher plane when our thinking is cleared of wrong motives.
So that's where that came from?
I think so. I don't know. We'd have to ask Barefoot Bill.
Yeah. Well, let's just, I mean, it sounds like it could. We're not saying it does, but I mean, you're thinking upon awakening, you're thinking about your day, you're thinking about the next step. I mean, we always have to be thinking, right? Because, we could be taking a left turn or a right turn or whatever, go down a slippery slope at any time, speaking of slippery slope. So 3 months ago, 2 months ago, whatever it was, I was up in New York at a meeting for work. And that Sunday that we were all supposed to come in, a friend of mine who works with me, we got in a little bit way earlier, and we went for a 10-mile hike, and it was all ice up and down, 10 miles up and down, all ice. And you had to think every footstep, every place you placed your footstep or a pole, you had to think, is this the right move? Now, I'm not saying you have to sit there and look at it and, okay, I'm going to go there and then sit there and look at, you just really had to be aware and think where you're going to put your next foot, because if you put it in the wrong spot, you can go down. You can get hurt.
Yeah, you can kill yourself.
You can die. Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what this to me is saying, is just be aware of what, where you're putting where you're taking your next step. So that's think. Let's go to easy does it. I mean, that could be a billion different things and probably 10 different shows. But easy does it, I think, to me, is because I was running around. Still to this day, I still need an easy does it, right? Because I beat myself up a lot. I'm hard on myself. I'm hard on others sometimes too. And I have to, just slow down sometimes, right? And just be a human. Sometimes just be a human and not accomplish 8,000 different things, all in one day and then make another 8,000 list tomorrow, and sometimes I do that. Sometimes I don't easy does it,
I think this is one of the most misunderstood slogans is that people think that going through the steps should be like easy does it.
Oh yeah, no.
And I'm like, no, that's actually not. No. There's very much a sense of urgency. If you actually read the book, there's a sense of urgency. Words like next we launched. Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, but I agree with you. I think easy does it is definitely something that has to follow me through my day. Like, it doesn't have to be balls to the wall every second of every freaking day. Like, it's okay to breathe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was going to cancel the podcast today. No, I'm kidding. No, I was actually sitting down eating something because I was starving after my run. And I'm like, I'll take it easy for a minute. And that's another thing too, right? Think about it. Like, I did 15. First of all, I got up at 4:00. I did my whole morning routine, fed the dogs, walked out the door, and ran 15 miles, right? And came back.
You're a crazy person.
And then
he does it, all right?
And then I'm like, I have to eat real quick. I know I have to get in a podcast. I'm like, you know what? If Beth wants to, if we can wait 5 minutes, I had to sit on the couch and just put my feet up and relax for 5 minutes. That's what I needed to do. Then I seen your text message, give me 10 minutes. I'm like, all right, well, that's what easy does it for me anyways, after, maybe somebody thinking, well, fuck man, I need a whole day to recover from that.
If I ran 13 miles, I would just die. That would be my recuperation time. Infinity.
Yeah, well, well. So anyways, but so that's kind of easy does it. And I guess easy does it looks differently for different people. So my dog is barking off the chain for some reason. And
I only just heard it the first time.
Oh God, she's driving me crazy. Easy does it. It's easy okay. Let her bark.
It's really funny. There's a speaker, Earl H., and he makes a point, and I definitely want to talk about this anytime we talk about slogans. Where he's like, he's the newcomer, and somebody, some guy walks up to him and is like, hey, just turn it over, or hey, easy does it. And he says in his speaking commitment, he goes, I hope you're braver than me. I hope you turn around to that asshole and you say, what is the spiritual significance of turn it over? You know what I mean? Like, what does that even mean? And the reality is most people will look at you and be like, I don't really know, man. They said it to me when I came in. I'm just saying it to you. I don't really know what's going on here. But it's, don't throw slogans at people. Mm-hmm. Like if you
don't know what they mean or don't live them, right?
But don't throw them. Like like when you learn what these mean, having a slogan is a way of saying to somebody who also knows what it means in a very short statement what they need to do or where they need to be. Like, right. So you and I, if we were to say, hey, easy does it, we both know what that means. We've been here a very long time and we get it. But if you just look at a newcomer and you're like, hey, easy does it.
Hey, fuck you.
Easy does what? What the fuck are you talking about, right? And
easy does it. I'm getting divorced. My car was repoed. I just got a fucking rehab and I have no place to live. Fuck you and your easy does it bullshit.
Right. So it's like, you throw these slogans, it just alienates people. It alienates people. And I guarantee you that 90% of people that use these slogans in meetings or after meetings or lobs them at a newcomer have no fucking idea what it means to put first things first, right?
Yes. Yeah.
First things first. It's a slogan is something that you can throw out during a conversation with somebody that you're working with. Mm-hmm. And, when you start to get spun out of control, you can kind of throw one of these out because you know what it means.
Mm-hmm. And so, you can help them relax. But the other thing, too, Beth, I use these slogans internally, right? Like on the couch, like it's easy does it. I might not have said easy does it to myself, but I'm going to take it easy. AA taught me that just easy does it. Just, just go easy on yourself. You give yourself credit, give yourself a 5-minute break, whatever that is. Yeah. And, live and let live. I kind of live my life like that, right? And I have to look at people. So what? So two guys are holding hands, or so some guy has a gun on the side of his belt. So what? Right. Let them do their things, whatever that is. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I think all of the slogans are a really great way to just recenter yourself, right? Yeah. Or help somebody with you recenter themselves.
Yeah.
Because we are, as a class of people, fucking insane.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
We are self-will run riot. We are like extremely intense. We're on the go. We're highly intelligent, and our perception is so self-centered. Like everything is about us until we take a step back and pause, right? So you take, like, what are some of the, but for the grace of God. Dude, you want a way around judgment? You want a way to stop judging people? Next time somebody pisses you off, or you think they're an asshole, or you want to throw some sort of fucked up label onto them, you just remember that it's only because of the grace of God that you get to be you.
That's right. That's right.
You're not still that kind of person.
Yeah,
I think this is definitely holds true for me. Like 99% of the time when I'm throwing a label on someone else, it's because I'm like, they're exposing a part of me in public that I don't want anybody to see. So I judge them to try to separate myself from that. And in reality, I'm just afraid that everybody's going to find out that's who I am.
Exactly. But let's talk about that. Let's go into that. But for the grace of God, there go I, right? That can be looked, and I never thought of it until we just started talking. That could be looked at either way. Like, okay, well, that guy's fucked up, right? But is he really fucked up, or is he starting his recovery, or where he or she is in their lives? Like, I'm 30 years in recovery. Do I say to the newcomer that walks in and maybe doesn't understand what putting $1 in a basket means, but but for the grace of God, there go I. I mean, you can use it in a kind of a bad, I don't want to say bad, but like a slang way, I guess, right? Does that make sense?
I don't think it's slang. I think every single time you say, but for the grace of God, you are damn right. But for the grace of God, you're not that idiot putting $1 in the basket again. Or doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I guess, but we all started there. So was I a but for the grace of God, there go I person at one time?
Yes. Yes, you were.
I probably still am, right?
You still are in some ways. We all are.
Exactly.
Right?
So
there are people that are much better at a lot of things than I am, and they all look at me and they're like, but for the grace of God, motherfucker, Jesus, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, I think, anybody that looks at the way I groom my dog is sitting there going, but for the grace of God. Like, I'm horrible at that, and I admit it.
Well, but here's the thing, right? So again, this is another slogan I use to myself, right? Like, maybe some guy's drunk or whatever. And like, oh my God, that could have been me, all those years ago. But, God gave me this avenue to go. I don't have to be there anymore. Right. And here's the thing too. And you just mentioned about your dog. You know what? You're not a dog groomer. That's not your profession. Now, if you were a dog groomer and you said you suck, I guess I wouldn't use you, right? But you're not a dog groomer, so I'm not going to use you, and you suck. That's okay, though.
Yeah, that's okay.
But for the grace of God, there go I, and that I guess is more of a statement that I've learned things, right? That I've grown in recovery, grown in anything. Like you can use it for anything, really, in your profession, in your family, in your relationships, whatever it is,
It's a statement of gratitude.
Yeah, I like that. It is a statement of gratitude.
It's a statement of gratitude that, like, I don't have. It sounds like somebody's trying to dig through my house. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Go bring your camera. Let's see. Maybe you can catch a burglar.
Oh my God! There was a woodpecker on my freaking gutters yesterday morning at 4:00 in the morning. Yeah.
You have wooden gutters?
No, I don't. That's the weird part.
Oh my God. See, that would be me when I was drinking. I'd be banging on the aluminum gutters, thinking it's wood. They're for the grace of God go I, right?
For the grace of God, right? 100%.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So think think is the next one. We spoke a little bit about that. We found out where that is, but again, I think all these tie into each other as they go down or as they go up. I mean, if we don't think. We could be that person, saying they're
in a heartbeat
by the grace, if we don't think, we're not going to take it easy. And if we don't think, we're going to have opinions about people, maybe the two guys holding hands or the guy holding it, having a gun on his belt, whatever it is. So, I think that's kind of what we have to kind of do is just think, slow down And if I don't believe it, or if it's not something in my wheelhouse or whatever, it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's not okay to tell somebody that they can't do whatever they want to, what it is they're doing,
I think if you were to sum up all of these slogans, the original slogans in like Gen Z terms, it would be you do you.
Yeah, you're right. That's it. That's exactly it. You do you.
You do you and living my best life, right?
Yeah.
YOLO.
Yeah. That's right. You're right. Living my best life. That's exactly it. Well, let's get down to the last one. First things first. Now, first things first. Now, I may or may not understand that. What's your thoughts on that?
I think there's a million ways to look at this.
I
think one would be like, you know what, we do the steps in order for a reason. First things first is you have to be a year sober before you can be 30 years sober.
Yeah.
I think first things first would be maybe we should have, oh my God, this is literally my current fucking life right now. Dan and I are taking some money. What we want to do is build a 2-car detached garage.
Okay.
In the back. And we're sitting here making all these plans. Have we actually contacted anybody to find out if we can do that? No. But here we are making all these plans and doing all this stuff. No idea if I'm allowed to put a 2-car detached garage in my backyard.
But that's the idea, right? That's where the idea comes from. First things first. Let's get the idea first, right? And there's nothing wrong with an idea or wrong with, thinking of things.
No.
I was listening to another podcast because it didn't take me 10 minutes to run this morning, right? So I was listening to another podcast, Dr. Wayne Dyer, and he had Sarah Blakely on it. And she was talking about, visioning things and thinking things through. And he asked her, was it hard to get where you were going at certain points in her career? And she said, no, not at all, because I had it all up here ready. I visioned it. I understood it. I lived it for years because I knew what I wanted. So I did all the work in my head and I knew kind of what I wanted when it started becoming real. So, that's kind of how I live my life. I'm going to like this, 15 miles. Like, where did I get 15 miles? And I'll use this as an example. I don't know. I just picked it out because I did 12 last week. I'm going to do 15 this week. Right. So, but if I went in there and if I went out on a path today and thought about going, I'm going to go 10 miles and then I try to go 15, I'm already living in the 10 mile already. Right. I'm not living in the 15, and then the other thing, I'm going to go 20 and I only do 15. I feel like I'm failing because I didn't do the 20. So I focus on, and again, it could be whatever it is, our kayaking trip or, a report that has to be done. I vision everything before I even start. So that's what you were doing with your garage. I think that's great that you guys got that together and you're going to see what you can do, and see where you can go with it.
Right. But it's like any plan you need to put things in order, right?
Yeah.
And I think that your first plan is to do the 12 steps. How many newcomers have you seen trying to do a 9-step amends before they've done inventory?
Oh my God. That's everybody wants to do. Yeah. Everybody wants to do it. Yeah. I know.
Mess. Like you're like, oh, you're going to have to make amends for making amends, you fucking moron.
That's right. That's exactly what you have to do. Slow down, dude.
So slow down for a second there. But, I think that putting first things first. And I also think that on a very deep spiritual level, it's God always comes first, right? First things first for me means God first, others, and then me. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really hard to maintain that unless you remind yourself that God will take care of me. God's already taken care of me. Mm-hmm. God hasn't dropped me yet.
Yep.
And putting my priorities in line. I'm never going to pull any punches with people, but my kids are going to come before AA every time.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
My kids don't come before God. Mm-hmm. But my kids
or yourself. Kids don't come before yourself. If you're not taking care of yourself, what are you going to do for your kids? You're going to show them how to live a fucked up life.
A fucked up life, right? Yeah. So you always put your oxygen mask on first.
Yeah.
But if my kid, I remember when we first moved back to New Jersey, Violet did not want me leaving the house a whole lot. She was just very nervous and scared, and it was a big shift for her. And there were a couple of times where she's like, Mom, don't go to your meeting. And I was like, okay. She was 4. She's 4. And
you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah, I'm 20 something years sober. It's not like if I don't go to a meeting, I'm going to drink.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. If you don't put your kids before a meeting or before that kind of stuff, like basically you're treating your kids the same as when you were drinking. You've just replaced one addiction for another. So it's like, priorities and first things first. It has to come down to the present moment in what needs to be done right now.
Exactly.
What's the best decision that I should be making right now to create the reality I want to live in? And the reality I want to live in is a place where my kids feel safe, my kids feel like they're of purpose, right? And I don't want to be...
That goes to what we were talking about, this thing, about the phone. Remember? Like, hold on, Beth, hold on. Like, you're not, this is more important than you, right? And that's what we're telling our kids. And, I get it. AA, whatever it is. I mean, we have to, first of all, we have to weigh it out. Now, if you're thinking about drinking or whatever, obviously, you want to go to a meeting, but, call a sponsor, maybe have somebody come over. I don't know, but you're right. We do have to look at the situation at hand. Now, you like you said, you guys just moved back. Maybe your daughter didn't know everybody, and she needed to feel secure, right? I mean, come on,
I'm her mom. That's my job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, even for newcomers, like girls that I've taken through the work that have small kids, I do not let them do a 90 and 90. I think it's,
oh, wow. Okay.
I think it's completely irresponsible.
I like that.
You're going to be gone every single night of the week the way you were when you were drinking, and you're supposed to be getting better.
Yeah.
So it's like, listen to a speaker tape if you can't get to a meeting, or start
Zoom
working
meeting
on your fucking inventory. Well, there was no Zoom for a long time.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know what I mean? Listen to a speaker tape, or call your sponsor and spend 20 minutes when the kids aren't around. That's, not for nothing, but when AA started, you only went to one meeting a week.
That's true.
And it was only so that newcomers could get connected with people that had more time than them, and that could show them a way.
Yeah.
That's the only reason people went to meetings in the beginning.
It's not like it is now. I mean, you can access a meeting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right on the computer. I mean, come on. I mean, it's, so that was first things first. So then it boils down to live easy, but think first. Now, I had no idea that was a hidden slogan. I don't live easy, but think first. I'm going to put you on this one first, because I'd have to think about it a little bit.
So it says in the first 164 that we're supposed to be headed towards wearing life like a loose garment.
Yes.
So I think for me, and I think all of this is up to personal interpretation and where you are with life and where
this
you
is this is our own personal opinions. This is not we're not telling anybody this is what you have to do.
Right.
Anything we spoke about today is how we interpret it. Yeah, exactly.
Today, and I may
doesn't mean it's right or wrong.
Tomorrow. Yeah,
exactly. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. So.
Right, but living easy means just going with the flow. Right? But think before you make choices, right? Understand that every choice you make creates the reality you live in. So make choices, right? Think about what you're doing, and then relax and take it easy. It talks about that in the 10th step, right? We relax and take it easy, and what the hell's the next line in the book? I don't remember, because I don't remember anything anymore. But, relaxing and taking it easy. We let God do for us what we can't do. We let go. We make choices, but we have to let go of the outcome. We're never in charge of the outcome.
Yeah. No, you're right. We're never in charge of that outcome. That's taking control back, and that's playing God, and I can't do that. But live easy, right? Live easy. To me, that I don't know. It could be taken either way. Like, okay, well, you ran hard for all those years. Just sit on the couch and kick your legs up, right? I mean, somebody could take it that way, right?
I guess that's not living, though.
No, I know. Live easy, but and I'll be honest with you, I don't want to live easy. I want to live life to its fullest. I want to run 20 miles next week. I want to, climb that 29,029. I want to do the 100-mile marathon at the end of the year. Not that I have to prove to anything to anybody else, but these are goals that I want to do in my life, and these are things that I want to move through. Yeah. If I was going to live easy, sit on the couch and to do a 5K tomorrow.
But see, I think that says more about your character defect of not being able to be kind to yourself and thinking that just because you're living easy means that you're lazy.
Okay.
Easy and lazy are not the same thing. Easy is loose. Okay. Like, I'm just going to go for a 15-mile run this morning. I'm not going for a 10-mile. I'm not going for a 20-mile. I've made a choice, right? Yeah. Think first.
Yeah. Think first.
You talked about this, like, I'm gonna make a conscious choice. I'm doing 15 miles this morning, and you went and you did it, and then you came home and you needed to put your feet up for a couple of minutes before we did the podcast. Like, to me, I feel like that's living easy. I'm going to, like, I slept in a little bit this morning. They're doing road work in front of my house, so I was awake at 7, but I was just kind of had my coffee in bed, had an easy morning, came down, walked my garden, came in, totally screwed up a sewing project. Got pissed off about it. Started another project, and I'm like, "Oh shit! It's 12 o'clock. I should go put makeup on." But it's like, I feel like that for me, like, that's living easy. Like, I'm moving through. Right? I'm doing my commitments. I'm doing my stuff. There is absolutely zero reason, even when I screw things up, to get so jacked up about it.
I agree with that. Yes. Because here's the thing, again, on that podcast that you will never listen to, 3 of 7, they were talking about this. They were talking about social media, how when people fall down, the people are there to kick them even harder, right? That's what social media, and it's so sick and it's so true, right? But he said, be weary, because if you're kicking that person when he or she is down, you're setting yourself up for something. Something's gonna, because everybody's gonna fail. Basically, what he's saying, everybody is, right. There's nobody doing anything perfect, And my idea was to run the 15 miles nonstop running. Well, 7.5 miles in, I had to drink some water. I wanted to eat a little thing, and I walked for about 5 minutes. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not failing. That's just stopping and slowing down. Right.
And what's wrong with that? We don't need to be perfect. Do you know what I mean? And to the fucking bullshitters who do this shit, who kick people when they're down on the internet,
I hate that.
You know what the reality is that nobody's going to come for them but themselves. So
That's
when
right.
they wind up screwing it up the way they judge this person for screwing up, the only person that's in their head kicking them when they're down is themselves.
Exactly. So
it's like, you know what I mean? Like, because I see this stuff all the time. Like,
I know.
I'm a little addicted to TikTok. I absolutely love it. I think I'm kind of wearing off of it now, but it's like, I literally, like, I will literally come across videos of people crying, talking about, why are people so mean to me in the comments?
Oh my God.
I just scroll by. I'm like, because you put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But then don't read the comments. Like, I don't, it's none of my business what other people think of me.
Exactly.
So
but a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, dude, I don't give a fuck what you think of me. And I
know.
Listen, Ed, you and I are so fucking lucky that we're from Gen X. We literally are the last feral generation who we couldn't let anybody give a shit. Like, we didn't give a shit what anybody thought of us.
Yeah.
We didn't have time. It's like, you do you, because I have to survive over here. So
exactly.
What you think of me?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But
you ain't paying my bills, so I'm not gonna. I don't care about you.
So I don't care what you think.
Yeah, exactly.
So listen, you want to pay me? I might care what you think, but even that's not guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed, but we could talk about it. But you're right. No, I mean, we just, again, people put themselves out there. They do stupid shit too, right? But again, this brings us way, way, way back to live and let live. So what? Somebody does something stupid. So what? Somebody says something on the internet. So what? Let them do their thing.
Yes.
And it's not and I'm not going to say anybody else, but it's not my job to go in there and say you suck or you shouldn't be doing this or do your thing. Great job. You look, whatever. You look great and whatever.
Like, whatever. It's like, and you know what? Like, there's this whole thing now going on with the whole Met Gala and the let them eat cake, and how the entire thing was based, the entire dress code was based on a poem or a short story that was about basically the rich stealing time and stealing resources, right? So, and it just played into the whole Met Gala. So like now people are realizing that, and they're unfollowing all these people that went to the Met Gala. Like,
Oh, jeez.
just let them do what they want to do. I don't have to follow them.
Exactly.
Listen, if this is who you are and this is what you want to do, then go do it. But you no longer have Beth Balaban as a commodity.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I'm no longer a battery charging your pocketbook by your sponsor.
Yeah.
So I just take my ball and I go the fuck home, and you have no
Put it
more
somewhere
followers.
else. Yeah.
So, but
the other thing too is there might be one Beth leaving, but there might be 4 of the Beths coming in because they might like what they said. I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about, but I heard something about it. But whatever,
but it's basically like people. The general population is just sick and tired of being used as batteries. Human beings are not batteries.
That is true. Okay. All right. I see what you're saying. You're right.
And I think that when we focus on living our own lives instead of constantly following the people around us, we live beautiful lives, and we love our life. I cannot imagine, and I know millions and hundreds of millions of people are like this. I can't imagine going to bed at night wishing I was anywhere else than in my bed with my pillow, with my husband, my dog and my cats, my kids, my house, my problems.
How many people think there's people out there that do that every night? I wish I was here. I wish I was dead. I wish I was this. I wish I was that. I wish I had another husband.
I think hundreds of millions of people in this country go to bed wishing they had a different life, not realizing that the choices you make create the reality you live in. And if you don't fucking like your life, make different choices. Exactly.
Only you can change. You can change you, and that is it. And once we start change, and that's for the good or the bad, though. We're gonna end this here, but that's for the good or bad to change, right? Think about it. Like, I can change for the good and have a great life, or I can change for the bad and get even deeper and deeper into whatever I'm into. So again, this brings us full circle, almost back to the beginning where we were talking about live and let live. Exactly. And change and everything else that comes along with all that. We have to just constantly think, right? Think what the next step is.
In the present moment in order to actually make a choice.
Exactly.
Instead of letting your fears or your desires make those choices for you.
Yeah. No, you're right. Hold on one second. I'm going to get my book. I want to read something. So I'm reading this book called What on Earth Am I Here For, right? And I think this will go perfect if I can find it. So, and again, this is for, you could take this in any way you want to take it, prayer or God or higher power or spirit or whatever it is. So it says here, it was talking about, this chapter was talking about having a friend in God, right? Just, how do you become friends with God? So the end of the chapter goes, prayer lets you speak to God. Meditation lets God speak to you. Right. Yep. So instead of asking all the time, we need to listen, right? Listen to people, listen to what we're saying, listen to what's being said, right? If that guy's holding another guy's hand or if that guy's carrying a gun on his side, listen to them. There's a reason why they're doing that, right? Let's listen to them and let them be who they need to be. And I'm okay with whatever that is. You know what I mean? That. Yeah. And that's it. So I think if we slow down, we stop speaking, and we listen to what people have to say, I think we would have a different kind of. Now, that doesn't mean we have to agree with them, right? That does not mean we have to agree with them.
Yeah.
It means just listen and give somebody else a shot that that deserves it.
The same space you expect to have is what you should be giving others.
Exactly. So, but I see your cat's running around wild back there, and
all day long. It's gonna bite my toes in a second.
So I think it was a good show. We did everything on slogans. I think we might do something next week on slogans too. We'll see. Maybe we don't know, but live and let live. Easy does it, but for the grace of God go I, think. First things first, and live easy, but think first is the original AA slogans that we were just talking about. If you want to leave some comments below, if you want to agree to disagree with us, or just we're okay with our opinions and you're okay with your opinions, please leave some comments below. And you can email us or whatever you want to do with us. But I hope we enlightened everybody a little bit on our views of things. And again, just our views. That's it. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong. Doesn't mean, you should do what we do or shouldn't do what we do. You have to bring it to what Beth said. You have to think these things through, make the decision what's best for you. And that's it. And then that's how we stay sober, everybody.
This concludes this episode of Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast. Follow us on Facebook for past shows and updates, and enjoy free access to twice daily support meetings. Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.